Hey guys, I'm out here attempting to clean my vehicle, but the process is going way slower than I would like. But I thought about sharing the first part of my story, and I've been going back and forth all day on where to start. I think the best place to start would be where my biggest fight with depression started. Let's backtrack a little bit first, though, just so everybody knows. I'm married. I've been married for 16 years this year, and I have an amazing husband. I'll talk about that in a later video, how we've both kind of grown in our relationship with Christ, and we've really grown as Christians together, and how it's really affected our marriage. But we have 6 kids together. We have 4 that are adopted and 2 biological. The last baby, our last 2 are our biological children. And when I went in to have a C-section with my last baby, which I was so excited to have because I'd only ever brought 1 newborn home from the hospital, and I absolutely loved taking care of her and holding her and just the whole newborn experience. And so I was super excited for that to happen. But when I went into the hospital for that C-section, I remember we went in and I was strapped down to this table because when I'd had to have an emergency C-section with the first baby, I had to have a C-section with the second one. It was just the safest thing to do, and that's what we decided to do. And I was laying there, the nurses were all really kind, and they asked me if I had any idea how much I thought the baby would weigh. And I said, I think she'll be 6 pounds, 13 ounces. And the nurse is like, okay, mama usually knows. And so they start and they're like, are you numb? Of course I was. My husband was there and he was super nervous. And my back started hurting really bad. And I kept telling them my back hurts. And they kept just giving me more pain medicine. And I was kind of going in and out a little bit. And my husband, of course, was getting really nervous. He kept kind of patting me on the cheek, trying to get me to wake up. And I think he was really kind of scared because I was kind of passing out a little bit. And the nurses are like, oh, she's fine. She's fine. That happens sometimes. It'll be okay. And I remember getting sick, like to my stomach. And of course, I can't really move. So all I could do is kind of turn my head sideways. And I got sick. And then all of a sudden, I felt this deep darkness almost just settle in my mind. I don't really know what caused it right then. I don't know if it was the shift in hormones. I'm assuming that this kind of triggered a postpartum depression type situation. But I just remember being so sad and just everything felt off. Like just from that point, the baby was born and it turned out she weighed 6 pounds, 13 ounces. I was right. The coming out of the numbing medication, I was just so sore and just everything felt off. It didn't feel as joyous as it had with our first baby. Like I said, I just don't really know how to explain it. I just know that from the moment I was on that table, something changed. And that was the beginning of this very, very dark time in my life.